My name is Amy Davis. I teach dual credit math and student council at Lakeview Centennial High School. Moderating this training is Jagruti Mehta. She teaches newcomer math at Memorial Pathways. And our other moderator is Joanna Funkhauser, who teaches AP and on-level physics at Garland High School. In the math classroom, we have access to the Inspire calculators. In physics, they use LabQuest 2 and specialized equipment for data collection. And of course, we all use our student one-to-one iPads. This webinar will focus mainly on the Discovery Education features and how you can utilize the ebooks in it for research purposes. Discovery Education will provide students and teachers with more educational resources. Teachers can use this tool to differentiate instruction, assign students content-specific practice problems over the concepts in which they need remediation, and just allow them to explore more application processes. The teacher can also utilize the unit opener videos to give their entire classes a virtual field trip that is relevant to the material they are or will soon be discussing. By using these videos, teachers know that all of their students have now experienced the same real-world application of the content and can refer to this application throughout the unit in order to bring the abstract to life and relevancy for the students. This webinar is aligned to the ISTE standard number 2, Design and Development of Digital Age Learning Experiences and Assessments. Discovery Education touches on all 4 components of the standard, from adapting relevant learning experiences that incorporate digital tools to personalizing learning activities to address students' diverse learning styles. Discovery Education brings the future of learning to the present. It helps school districts accelerate digital transitions through comprehensive standards-based content and community engagement proven to positively impact student achievement. The digital textbooks embedded in Discovery Education engage students with dynamic, multimodal content and an inquiry approach, which helps teachers increase the level of rigor in their classrooms. So first, we all need to log into Discovery Education. If you see on the screen, we're on the Garland website. If you go to Academics, you will find the online instructional resources. And then once you click there, you will see this long list of educational resources we can use. And a little bit down on the list is Discovery Education. So if you click there, we can now click Open Resource. By doing that, you will be directed to the GISD portal and prompted to log in using your district credentials or your Novell login, whatever you want to call it. All right, so here's what my login looks like once I'm all logged in. You can see various textbooks, choose whatever content you want. By going to math, I have Algebra 1, and that's what we're going to focus on today. But you can also switch your courses by going to Switch Course, and you can choose the different textbooks that are available. Once you've chosen your course, you can also toggle between the visual overview, which just gives you a picture and the title of the unit, the table of contents, and then the standards, which there are none listed right now. Interesting. They were there this weekend. the top right, you notice that we have our tools for dashboard, glossary, and math tools. So if I click on dashboard, I get to see information about my students' progress, how they're engaging on the concepts, that sort of thing. I go to the glossary. It's very interactive. They can search alphabetically. They can look by unit. So we click on something. Absolute value. And then it gives you a picture, the definition, puts it in context, and even tells you the etymology of the word. You can look at it in both English and in Spanish. They can see an animation of it. And the animation does relate back to the picture that you see. And then the math tools will provide students with multiple calculators. So the 4 functions, scientific or graphing. And then they also have converters and some problem-solving apps. They can use the whiteboard to show some scratch work, construction of their shapes for geometry, matrix solver, those sorts of tools. If we go back to the visual overview, we need to select a unit. So I'm going to choose the Foundations of Algebra. You can see that each of these units will have a parent letter, a unit assessment, and a unit overview. There's also a unit opener. This little video will just be a short attention getter for the unit. So our parent letter is both in English and Spanish. Our unit assessment, you can assign to each student, and then they can go through, answer their questions. Our unit overview shows our standards for just this unit. Okay, if we go back to our visual overview, let's see, or to our unit page, sorry. Let's pick a concept. I'm going to choose the Analyze Expressions and Equations. You can see a model lesson complete with your essential questions, understandings, great for our avid Cornell note style. If you go to the Discover tab, there are even more videos that the students can watch. So they can ride this roller coaster, and they can see patterns and relationships. These are the investigations that can kind of give you a virtual field trip with your students, and they can see what the math concept or even the science history concepts would be like in the real world. And then they can open discussion that way. If we go to the Practice tab, under the Practice tab, teachers can differentiate learning. The students can practice material using the exercise, feedback, try again, the basic school approach. Or they can go and play games, and they can earn badges. Teachers can also add extensions using the Apply tab. And they have various applications. Now, even though this is all Algebra 1, I actually used the roller coaster video in my calculus class. It was a great way to connect a relevant idea, such as riding a roller coaster, to the abstract concept of derivatives. And it helped bring that to life for my students. So you don't just have to use what's in Algebra 1 for Algebra 1 or what's in geometry for geometry. It can be applied anywhere. We can also download the Discovery Education Textbook app, but there are only books in the app for science and social studies. Everyone else has to use the Discovery Education through the website. When we first log into the app, once we actually download it, this is what it looks like. We have to change some stuff. You can't just log in like normal. So once you've downloaded your app, you go to the login options. And we have to change so that we can log in with SSO. So we have to move this button to the other side. When you do that, you're prompted to put your custom URL or SSO in there. And ours is garlandisd.discoveryeducation.com. Once you've done that and hit save, you're prompted to actually log in using your district credentials. This is what it looks like on your app. You've got your science over here and then the history over here. Now, Discovery Education does have other resources. We can go to the Builder Tools. And when you're in your Builder Tools tab, you can find assignments, quizzes, and writing prompt builders, assessment managers, and specific math assessment builders. There's also a section called the Board Builder. That one's a favorite for many teachers. It's an excellent way for the students to demonstrate their new skills and at the same time be creative. So here's the Board Builder. They can add resources of their choice, such as videos from Discovery Education, audio, photos, documents, and more. They can choose their own background or make one themselves that's blank. Scrapbook is always a fun one. So they just go in and they add the items they want to enter, whether it's a video, a photo, anything from Discovery Education works. Also within this, we have a professional learning tab. So we can build our own professional learning networks using the board builders. Does anybody have a question over Discovery Education for us? Ask me anything about it. Nobody. Has anybody actually used Discovery Education this year or last year? Have any stories for us? Things that worked with your students and didn't? Oh, beautiful. Lolita used it in her 5th grade science class. Do you have anything you would like to add about that, Lolita? Oh, and Roseanne used it for her science class as well. Very good. So So we know Discovery Education is an awesome tool, but did you have any favorite parts? Virtual labs. Oh, the virtual labs. Very nice. So do you have your students use the virtual labs with their board builders, or do they do it separately? Okay, so if we made our own board builder, we can always change the themes if we wanted to. But this one's set to be the scientific method, so it does go through the scientific method outlined over here. I wanted to add something. I can add more media, attachments. So let's add some media. How about roller coasters? Perfect. So they can have an applied problem or just some fun stuff you should know. How do they work? So let's add our roller coaster physics. Add the selected resource and see it's at the bottom of their board builder now. You can also change their fonts, of course. The color, the headline font, the headline color. They can change the color of the background. Right now, let's set it at graph paper back here, but they could change it to blueprint or flowers. They can even change the background from chemistry to maybe just some formulas. Okay. Can we add our own photos? Yes, we can add our own photos. Thank you, Roseanne. We go into add items. That would be an attachment since you're adding your photos from your own files. Anybody else have a board builder question? Or a shout out to Discovery because they loved it so? Is there a collaboration piece in board builder? Is there a collaboration piece in board builder? They can work together in groups on board builder, but they don't have the collaboration component as some of the Google devices. So maybe that's something we can talk to them and see if they can add in there. Different ways to export it and share it. If you go over here to share, there we go. It's loading slowly. We can share it to our school, our district, our Discovery Education community, or we can select Don't Share. You can also, if you're making one for your class, assign it to your class itself. And on a happy note, the district has already put in all of our classes and they get updated regularly. So we don't have to worry about that. So I could select any of my classes from the past couple of years since we've had Discovery Education, and I could send it to them as an assignment if I wanted them to work through material on the board builder. So you can share it 2 different ways, through the share button or through Assign. If there's a way for students to share it, that one we don't know. We've only used the board builder to send students assignments, but that would be a wonderful thing that we can do another training on. So we will explore all that and let you know. Can we add students to our classes? We can, but they are updated regularly by the district. But you can always go into your classroom manager and go to My Classes, manage your classes list, even print out your rosters. And you can create a new class if you wanted to. Maybe you have a tutorial class that you want to have so the students get more remediation. So you could put them into your own class. There's always a button at the top of whatever you're working in that will save things for you. So if I go back to my boards, it has my saved webinar, and I can edit it with the pencil, and it's pulled back everything that we've done. There's even a save button at the top as well. Let's take a minute to look at the professional learning tab as well. So within the Professional Learning Center, we can do the Learn and Lead. This is helpful whether you're new to Discovery Education or you've used it for forever. You can go through step-by-step guides, interactive modules, see it in different live events, such as webinars that we're doing right now. New teachers especially, you have the New Teacher Essentials right here. If you go to the Strategies and Resources, gives you different strategies for integrating these digital resources to your classroom. You can see ways other teachers have made their lessons lively, or turned STEM into great STEM resources, became a STEM mentor, made STEM fun for the students, very active, help them lead. You can look at the most popular topics, see different collections that have lesson plans, videos, primary source material, all that stuff. Even go through the virtual reality, see the different views in the real world. Events and experiences. This gives you chances to go to actual events and meet with teachers that use Discovery Education daily. See different things that they have done. Sometimes they're in person, sometimes it's virtual, and they're at no cost. You can do collaborative projects. So this is a way that we can find collaborative work and ways to incorporate the collaborative aspect using our digital education or Discovery Education. And then your Connect with DE. So that just allows you to explore your community, participate in the blog, connect via social media. Shows you the newsletters, ways to contact them for help, or just to say, hey, you had a great idea here. How did it work in your class? It's a great way to develop your professional learning network. so anyone else have a last minute question or? All right. Well, thank you for joining us for our DigiBook Go Discovery Education webinar. Please don't forget to complete your evaluation form. One of our moderators is posting it. There's a link. And please follow us on Twitter. Our handles are at the bottom of this slide. All right, and then our next webinar is November 9th. So join us. We will discuss formative assessments. Remember, you have to complete your form in order to earn your CPE credit for this webinar.